when I see him, Jesse Jackson, his mama and all them there, and his mama, she pulled me to the side. And that's when I knew it was bad.
The murder of Tupac Shakur on the night of September 7th, 1996, sent shockwaves through the world of music and beyond, leaving behind a legacy shrouded in mystery and speculation. Today, we delve into one of the most controversial and widely discussed moments in hip-hop history, revolving around the death of Tupac, how Snoop Dogg killed Tupac on camera, unraveling the conspiracy.
Was he worth it, cuz? So he was my friend before death row, right? So building a brotherhood with him. So when he was locked up, naturally I spoke to Suge and was like, we need to get cuz out and put him with us.
It all began in the streets of Los Angeles, where Snoop Dogg, then known as Snoop Doggy Dogg, was making a name for himself with his smooth flow and unique style. Meanwhile, Tupac Shakur, a rising star with his raw and powerful lyrics, was also making waves in the music industry. Their paths crossed and a friendship was born. Snoop Dogg and Tupac first collaborated on the track Two of America's Most Wanted, which was released in 1996. This song showcased their undeniable chemistry and set the stage for future collaborations. The combination of Snoop Dogg's laid-back delivery and Tupac's intense energy created a dynamic that resonated with fans around the world. As their friendship grew, Snoop Dogg and Tupac found solace in each other's company. They bonded over their shared experiences growing up in the streets of Los Angeles and their love for music. Late-night studio sessions and jamming sessions became the norm as they pushed each other to new creative heights. One of the key moments in their friendship came when Snoop Dogg joined Tupac on his All Eyes on Me album. Snoop Dogg's smooth vocals added a unique flavor to tracks like Two of America's Most Wanted and I Ain't Mad at Ya. These collaborations showcased their musical synergy and solidified their status as a dynamic duo in the hip-hop world. Beyond the music, Snoop Dogg and Tupac shared a deep bond rooted in their shared struggles and aspirations. Both artists had experienced the harsh realities of life on the streets and used their music as a form of expression and escape. Their lyrics reflected their personal journeys, and their friendship provided a support system in an industry known for its cutthroat nature. Snoop Dogg and Tupac's friendship extended beyond the studio walls. They were often seen together at parties, events, and even on the basketball court. Their camaraderie was infectious, and fans admired their genuine connection. They were more than just collaborators. They were brothers in arms, navigating the highs and lows of fame together. As their individual careers continued to soar, Snoop Dogg and Tupac remained each other's biggest cheerleaders. They celebrated each other's successes and offered support during challenging times. Their friendship was a constant source of inspiration and motivation, pushing them to push the boundaries of their artistry. However, even in the midst of their strong bond, cracks began to appear. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry, which had been simmering in the background, started to take its toll on their friendship. Snoop Dogg's allegiance to Death Row Records, led by Suge Knight, and Tupac's affiliation with Bad Boy Records, headed by Sean Diddy Combs, created a divide that would test their loyalty. Despite the growing tensions, Snoop Dogg and Tupac continued to collaborate and support each other. They performed together at various events, including the infamous 1996 MTV Video Music Award, where they delivered a memorable performance that showcased their undeniable chemistry and stage presence. Unfortunately, their friendship would soon face its biggest challenge. In September 1996, tragedy struck when Tupac was shot and killed in Las Vegas. The loss of his dear friend devastated Snoop Dogg, who struggled to come to terms with the sudden and senseless loss. The music industry mourned the loss of a true icon, and Snoop Dogg was left to navigate the aftermath without his confidant and collaborator. The loss of Tupac left a void in Snoop Dogg's life, both personally and professionally. He dedicated performances and released tribute songs to honor his fallen friend. The impact of Tupac's death reverberated throughout the hip-hop community, and Snoop Dogg found himself at odds with those who believed he had not done enough to protect his friend. In the wake of Tupac's passing, Snoop Dogg's career took a different trajectory. He continued to make music and solidify his own legacy, but the loss of his friend had a profound impact on him. The strain on their friendship and the weight of Tupac's absence would shape Snoop Dogg's journey in the years to come. The media also perpetuated conspiracy theories and urban legends surrounding the killing of Tupac. One of such is that earlier that evening before his death, Tupac had attacked Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a member of the rival Crips gang, in the lobby of the MGM Grand Hotel. The altercation was captured on surveillance footage and stemmed from an alleged robbery attempt against a death row employee. Anderson, who belonged to the feared Los Angeles gang, the Bloods, had been accused of stealing a medallion from Trayvon Lane, a death row employee, earlier that year. The incident was seen as a calculated insult and a motive for retaliation. retaliation. According to Chuck Phillips's investigation, one of Suge Knight's entourage, a member of the Bloods, had pointed out Anderson to Tupac, claiming that he was responsible for the attempted robbery. This revelation set the stage for the tragic events that would unfold later that night. Phillips alleged that Biggie Smalls, fueled by rage and a desire for revenge, provided the murder weapon to Anderson. The motive? Tupac's scathing response to Biggie's 1994 diss track, "Who Shot Ya?" with his own track, Hit 'Em Up, in which he boasted about sleeping with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans. The theory suggests that Biggie Smalls, in a fit of anger and jealousy, agreed to pay a staggering $1 million bounty for Tupac's death. This agreement allegedly came about after Tupac's provocative response to "Who Shot Ya?", which struck a nerve with Biggie. The diss track not only insulted Biggie's pride, but also threatened his reputation and personal life. The stage was set for a deadly confrontation between two rap titans. The night of the shooting, as Tupac and Suge Knight made their way to the club's 662 night spot, little did they know that their journey would be their last. Chuck Phillips' investigation suggests that the shooting was a calculated act of revenge for the earlier altercation at the MGM Grand Hotel. Orlando "Baby Lane" Anderson, allegedly armed with the murder weapon provided by Biggie Smalls, fired the fatal shots that ended Tupac's life. The aftermath of the shooting only added to the complexity of the case. Orlando "Baby Lane" Anderson, the alleged trigger man, was interviewed by investigating officers only once before meeting his own tragic end. On May 29, 1998, Anderson was killed in an unrelated gangland shooting, leaving behind unanswered questions and a void in the investigation. Chuck Phillips' investigation shed light on the alleged mistakes made by law enforcement in the immediate aftermath of Tupac's murder. The theory of Biggie Smalls' involvement in the orchestration of the shooting raises questions about the motives and actions of those involved. While some may dismiss this theory as speculative, the allegations against Biggie Smalls have persisted, leaving a cloud of suspicion hanging over his legacy. The role of the media in perpetuating this theory cannot be overlooked. Sensational headlines and speculative reporting have fueled public fascination with the idea of a rap rivalry turned deadly. The media's coverage of the conspiracy theories surrounding Tupac's death has contributed to the enduring legacy of the case and the enigma surrounding one of hip-hop's greatest legends. Setting the scene. Born in New York City in 1971, Tupac's journey from a troubled upbringing to becoming a rap icon is a story filled with sensational events, artistic brilliance, and a tragic end. Born on June 16, 1971, in East Harlem, New York City, Tupac Amaru Shakur was named after Tupac Amaru II, an 18th century political leader in Peru who fought against Spanish oppression. Growing up, Tupac faced the harsh realities of inner-city life. His parents, Afeni Shakur and Billy Garland, were both active members of the Black Panther Party, a revolutionary socialist organization that fought for the rights of African Americans. Tupac's mother played a significant role in shaping his worldview, instilling in him a strong sense of social justice and activism. However, Tupac's childhood was far from stable. His parents separated before he was born, and he was primarily raised by his mother, who struggled with addiction and poverty. They moved frequently, and Tupac often found himself in the midst of dangerous and impoverished neighborhoods. Despite the challenges he faced, Tupac discovered his passion for the arts at an early age. He began writing poetry and performing in school plays, showcasing his natural talent and charisma. Recognizing his potential, Tupac's mother enrolled him in the Baltimore School for the Arts, a prestigious performing arts high school. It was at the Baltimore School for the Arts that Tupac honed his skills in acting, poetry, jazz, and ballet. Immersed in a creative and nurturing environment, he found an outlet for his emotions and a platform to express his thoughts on social issues. Tupac's time at the school not only shaped his artistic abilities, but also exposed him to a diverse range of influences that would later inform his music. Tupac Shakur's music career began to take shape in the late 1980s when he moved to California and joined the hip-hop group Digital Underground as a backup dancer and rapper. His talent and magnetic stage presence quickly caught the attention of industry insiders, and it wasn't long before Tupac embarked on his solo career. In 1991, Tupac released his debut solo album, Tupacalypse Now. The album tackled pressing social issues such as police brutality, racism, and poverty, showcasing Tupac's ability to use his platform to shed light on the struggles faced by marginalized communities. Despite its controversial themes, Tupacalypse Now received critical acclaim and established Tupac as a rising star in the rap industry. Tupac's sophomore album, Strictly For My was released in 1993 and further solidified his place in the rap scene. The album featured hit singles like Keep Your Head Up and I Get Around, showcasing Tupac's versatility as an artist. His ability to seamlessly switch between introspective and party anthems endeared him to a wide audience. However, Tupac's career was not without its share of controversies. He found himself embroiled in legal issues, including assault charges and a high-profile sexual assault case. These legal battles only added to the mystique surrounding Tupac, further fueling his rebellious image. In 1995, Tupac released his third studio album, Me Against the World, which was recorded while he was incarcerated. The album, which delved into themes of pain, struggle, and resilience, resonated deeply with audiences. It became the first rap album to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200, solidifying Tupac's status as a rap icon. Tupac's career reached new heights with the release of his fourth studio album, All Eyes on Me, in 1996. The double-disc album featured hit singles such as California Love and How Do You Want It, and showcased Tupac's lyrical prowess and storytelling abilities. All Eyes on Me is considered one of the greatest rap albums of all time and remains a testament to Tupac's artistic genius. Tupac Shakur's impact on the hip-hop industry and popular culture cannot be overstated. His music and persona made him a symbol of resistance, empowerment, and authenticity for many people, particularly those in marginalized communities. Tupac's lyrics were deeply introspective, addressing themes of social inequality, racial injustice, and the struggles of everyday life. He had a unique ability to connect with his audience on a personal level, speaking to their experiences and giving voice to their frustrations. His raw and honest approach to storytelling resonated with fans around the world, solidifying his status as a rap icon. Beyond his music, Tupac was also known for his involvement in the East Coast-West Coast, a hip-hop rivalry, which reached its peak in the mid-1990s. The rivalry between the East Coast and West Coast rap scenes was fueled by tensions, rivalries, and misunderstandings, ultimately leading to tragic consequences. Tupac's affiliation with Death Row Records, a West Coast label, further intensified the rivalry and added to his controversial image. Tupac's impact extended beyond the music industry. He had a significant influence on popular culture, with his style, attitude, and outspokenness inspiring a new generation of artists. His iconic bandana, tattoos, and thug life persona became synonymous with his image, and his ability to effortlessly transition between sensitive poet and hardcore rapper captivated audiences. Tupac's friendships with celebrities such as Jada Pinkett Smith and Madonna also added to his cultural significance. He was known for his charismatic personality and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. Despite his controversial reputation, Tupac was respected and admired by many for his authenticity and unwavering commitment to his beliefs. The East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry was a heated feud that pitted artists from the two coasts against each other. Tupac found himself caught in the middle of this bitter rivalry, with tensions escalating between him and fellow rapper, the Notorious Big. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry was fueled by a combination of personal conflicts and the competitive nature of the music industry. Tupac and the Notorious Big were seen as the figureheads of their respective coasts, and their feud became emblematic of the larger conflict. Tupac's involvement in the rivalry led to a series of diss tracks and public statements, further escalating tensions between the two camps. The feud reached its peak in 1996 when Tupac was shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. It was chaos. Everyone was in shock. No one could believe what had just happened. The shooting sent shockwaves through the music industry. It was a tragic turning point in the East Coast-West Coast rivalry. Despite being rushed to the hospital and placed in a medically induced coma, Tupac's injuries proved fatal. On September 13, 1996, he was pronounced dead at the age of 25. Tupac's murder remains one of the most high-profile unsolved cases in the history of hip-hop. Despite numerous investigations and theories, no one has been definitively charged with his killing. The circumstances surrounding his murder remain a subject of speculation and conspiracy theories, adding to the enigma that surrounds his life and legacy. Despite his untimely death, Tupac's music and artistic legacy continue to have a profound impact on the rap industry and popular culture. His influence can be seen in the work of countless artists who have been inspired by his fearless approach to storytelling and his unapologetic embrace of his own truth, examining the facts.
Shocking new details in the latest investigation of the 1996 unsolved murder of legendary rapper Tupac Shakur. ABC News learning the search warrant executed Monday in Las Vegas was at the home of Dwayne Davis, known as Keefe D, just miles away from where Tupac was gunned down.
As the investigation into the murder of Tupac Shakur continues, recent developments have brought us closer to uncovering the truth behind this tragic event. The search warrant served at the Las Vegas area home of Dwayne Keith Davis, also known as Keffe D or Keefe D, has yielded crucial evidence that could potentially shed new light on the case. But what do these recent developments mean for solving the murder of one of hip-hop's greatest legends? Among the items seized from Davis's home were magazine articles about Tupac, computers, hard drives, and pictures from the 1990s. These artifacts from the past may hold the key to unraveling the events that led to Tupac's tragic demise. But what exactly do they reveal? Investigators are meticulously examining the seized items, searching for any connections to the drive-by shooting that took Tupac's life. The magazine articles on Tupac may provide valuable insights into his life, his music, and the circumstances surrounding his murder. They could potentially reveal hidden motives, rivalries, or even previously unknown alliances. The computers and hard drives seized from Davis's home are a treasure trove of information. Digital forensics experts are combing through the data, searching for any digital footprints that may lead them to the truth. Emails, documents, and other electronic records could provide crucial clues about the individuals involved in the drive-by shooting and their motivations. The pictures from the 1990s are like windows into the past. They capture moments frozen in time, individuals who may have been connected to the events surrounding Tupac's murder. Detectives are carefully examining these images, looking for faces, locations, or any other details that could help piece together the puzzle. Another significant item seized from Davis's home is his book, Compton Street Legend. In this memoir, Davis details what he believes led to Tupac's murder. He claims to have been in the car with the shooter and provides his own account of that fateful night. The book could offer valuable insights into the mindset of those involved and potentially corroborate or contradict other evidence. The evidence retrieved from Davis's home is now being presented to a Las Vegas grand jury. This crucial step in the legal process could determine the course of the investigation. The grand jury will carefully review the evidence and decide whether there is enough to indict anyone in connection with Tupac's murder. The detectives and prosecutors working tirelessly on this case understand the weight of their responsibility. They know that solving Tupac's murder is not just about bringing closure to his family, friends, and fans, but also about upholding justice and ensuring that those responsible for this heinous crime are held accountable. While the recent developments in the investigation are promising, it is important to remember that solving a case of this magnitude is no easy task. The road to justice is often long and filled with obstacles, but the determination of the investigators, the dedication of the prosecutors, and the support of the public keep the flame of hope alive. Tupac Shakur's legacy continues to inspire and resonate with millions around the world. His music, his words, and his spirit live on. But the unanswered questions surrounding his murder cast a shadow over his legacy. The ongoing investigation offers a glimmer of hope that justice will prevail and that the truth will finally be revealed. As we eagerly await the grand jury's decision, it is crucial to remember that the pursuit of justice is a collective effort. The public's support, the sharing of information, and the refusal to let this case fade into obscurity are essential in bringing closure to this decades-old mystery. The investigators and prosecutors working on the case are determined to leave no stone unturned. They understand the significance of solving Tupac's murder and the impact it will have on the music industry, the justice system, and the millions of fans who have been waiting for answers for far too long. It is important to note that Snoop Dogg was not present during the incident and had no direct involvement in the events leading up to Tupac's death. In fact, Snoop Dogg and Tupac were signed to the same record label, Death Row Records, and had collaborated on several songs together. Their relationship was one of mutual respect and friendship. Snoop Dogg has consistently denied any involvement in Tupac's death and has expressed his love and admiration for the late rapper. During an interview with Sway in the Morning, Snoop Dogg shared a never-before-heard story about the last time he saw Tupac and their last conflict. This interview inspired a scene in the film All Eyes on Me, further highlighting the fact that Snoop Dogg and Tupac had their differences but were not on bad terms. It is crucial to separate fact from fiction and rely on credible evidence when examining such sensitive topics. The lack of concrete evidence linking Snoop Dogg to Tupac's death raises questions about the validity of these conspiracy theories. While it is understandable that emotions were running high during this tumultuous time in the rap industry, it is important not to jump to conclusions without substantial evidence. In a world filled with fake news and misinformation, the importance of critical thinking for everyone cannot be overstated. It is not just a skill for academia. It is a skill that empowers people to navigate the complexities of the information age and make informed decisions. Critical thinking equips people with the tools to evaluate information critically and discern fact from fiction. It encourages them to question the credibility of sources, identify biases, and analyze evidence. By developing these skills, people become active participants in their own learning and are better equipped to navigate the complex information landscape. Beyond academia, critical thinking is essential for people to participate productively in a democratic society. As educators, our role is not just to produce knowledgeable people, but to cultivate critical thinkers who can engage in thoughtful discourse, challenge assumptions, and make well-informed decisions. Critical thinking is a skill that extends beyond the classroom and empowers everyone to become active and responsible citizens. Critical thinking is what would help people to really evaluate the conspiracy theories surrounding the murder of Tupac, as there are countless theories of such, and so it is easy for misinformation to spread about his death. Contextualizing the relationship.
I'm Snoop Dogg. I never had any beef with anybody from the East. I'm here to make good music. That's what I signed my contract to Death Row Records for, to make good music and perform and put out good albums. I didn't sign a contract to hurt nobody or make people hate me or hate people. It was just to make good music.
The death of Tupac Shakur sent shockwaves through the music industry and had a profound impact on Death Row Records, the label to which both Tupac and Snoop Dogg were signed. In the aftermath of Tupac's tragic passing, Snoop Dogg found himself in a challenging position, tasked with holding Death Row Records together and continuing the label's success. Tupac's death marked a turning point for Death Row Records. The loss of such a talented and influential artist left a void that seemed impossible to fill. Additionally, the East Coast-West Coast rivalry had reached a boiling point, with tensions escalating and violence becoming all too common. The music landscape was changing, and Death Row Records had to adapt. Dr. Dre, one of the key figures at Death Row Records, had already left the label prior to Tupac's death. This departure, coupled with the tragic loss of Tupac, further destabilized the label. The music direction shifted, and Snoop Dogg found himself in a position where he had to step up and take on the challenge of holding Death Row Records on his back. Snoop Dogg, known for his smooth flow and charismatic persona, had already established himself as a prominent artist within the rap industry. With Tupac's passing, Snoop Dogg became one of the leading figures at Death Row Records. He had to navigate the turbulent aftermath and keep the label afloat amidst the chaos. In the wake of Tupac's death, Snoop Dogg and others at Death Row Records were deeply affected. The loss of a friend and fellow artist took an emotional toll on Snoop Dogg. In interviews, he has spoken about the sadness and disbelief he felt during that time. The life they were living as part of Death Row Records had made them feel untouchable, but Tupac's death shattered that illusion. Snoop Dogg's emotions were evident, and he did not want to be associated with the tragic events that unfolded. He, like many others, mourned the loss of Tupac and grappled with the harsh reality of the violence that had consumed the rap industry. It is important to note that Snoop Dogg's reaction was one of grief and not guilt. As Snoop Dogg took on the responsibility of holding Death Row Records together, rumors began to circulate about Suge Knight's alleged involvement in Tupac's death. Snoop Dogg, like many others, believed these rumors and started taking precautions for his own safety. The uncertainty surrounding the circumstances of Tupac's death led to a sense of unease within the industry. Despite the challenges and uncertainties, Snoop Dogg remained committed to his craft and focused on making music. He continued to release albums and collaborate with other artists. Snoop Dogg's talent and dedication helped him maintain his relevance in the rap industry, even in the face of adversity. It is important to emphasize that Snoop Dogg's role in holding Death Row Records together was not without its difficulties. The label faced numerous challenges, including legal issues and internal conflicts. Snoop Dogg tried to stay neutral amidst the turmoil, but Suge Knight demanded loyalty and expected artists to take his side in the ongoing East Coast-West Coast feud. Snoop Dogg's refusal to take sides in the beef between the coasts did not sit well with Suge Knight. This strained their relationship and added to the growing tensions within Death Row Records. Snoop Dogg's focus on making music and staying true to his craft clashed with Suge Knight's expectations of loyalty. Throughout his career, Snoop Dogg has been known for his smooth flow, laid-back demeanor, and undeniable talent. Despite being associated with the West Coast rap scene, Snoop Dogg has always maintained a perspective of peace and unity, even during the height of the East Coast-West Coast beef. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry reached its peak in the mid-1990s, with tensions escalating and violence becoming all too common. The tragic deaths of Tupac Shakur and the Notorious Big further fueled the flames of this feud. However, amidst the chaos and animosity, Snoop Dogg stood out as a voice of reason. In interviews and public statements, Snoop Dogg has consistently expressed his desire for peace and his refusal to engage in the senseless violence that plagued the rap industry. He has made it clear that he never had any personal beef with anybody from the East Coast and that his focus was always on making good music. When asked about the East Coast-West Coast beef, Snoop Dogg has emphasized the need to put an end to the hostility. He recognized the destructive nature of the feud and the toll it was taking on the rap community. Snoop Dogg understood that the violence needed to stop before more lives were lost. In one interview, Snoop Dogg stated, "The East Coast-West Coast thing, I ain't got a problem with nobody. To me, they better kill it right now, because if it keeps going on, nobody from the East Coast is going to be able to come to LA and be safe, and nobody from the West Coast is going to be able to come to the East Coast and be safe. Snoop Dogg's perspective on the East Coast-West Coast beef was rooted in his desire to make good music and bring people together through his art. He saw the rap industry as a platform for creativity and expression, not a battleground for violence and animosity. His commitment to making good music was evident in his work and his refusal to be drawn into the negativity. When Snoop Dogg signed his contract with Death Row Records, his intention was to make good music, perform, and put out albums that resonated with his audience. He did not sign a contract to hurt anybody or promote hatred. His focus was always on the artistry and the positive impact he could make through his music. Snoop Dogg's refusal to engage in the East Coast-West Coast beef was a conscious decision that may have saved his life. The hatred and animosity that permeated the rap industry during that time led to tragic consequences for many artists. Snoop Dogg recognized the dangers and chose a different path. Had Snoop Dogg joined in on the hatred and animosity that Tupac Shakur preached, he might not be here today. He understood the destructive nature of that mindset and made a conscious decision to distance himself from it. Snoop Dogg's choice to focus on making good music and spreading positivity was a testament to his character and integrity. Despite his untimely death, Tupac Shakur's impact on the music industry and popular culture continues to be felt to this day. His legacy extends far beyond his short time on this earth, leaving an indelible mark on future generations of artists and fans alike. Tupac's influence on the hip-hop industry cannot be overstated. His powerful and introspective lyrics address social inequality, racism, and violence, resonating with a generation that yearned for change. He fearlessly tackled controversial topics and challenged the status quo, using his platform to shed light on the issues that mattered most to him. Tupac's ability to connect with his audience on a deep and personal level was unparalleled, and his authenticity struck a chord with fans around the world. Tupac's impact on future generations of artists cannot be overstated. He paved the way for a new wave of socially conscious rappers who used their music as a platform for change. Artists such as Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Common have all cited Tupac as a major influence on their careers. His ability to seamlessly blend introspective lyrics with catchy hooks and infectious beats set a new standard for the genre, inspiring countless artists to follow in his footsteps. Furthermore, Tupac's activism and commitment to social justice continue to inspire and resonate with audiences. He was unafraid to speak out against injustice and used his platform to shed light on the struggles faced by marginalized communities. Tupac's lyrics were a call to action, urging listeners to question the status quo and fight for a better world. If you enjoyed this video, please click on any of the cards for related videos on your screen.